Okay, guys, Sam here, back with you on the 14th of June on a Friday here, and we're going to finish up with a look at Monero XMR to the dollar. I've got it up. This is a 4-hour on Bitfinex. So it was kind of close in the voting here, but I thought this had the most interesting chart. And I think there's potentially a trade setting up here, so I tipped the scales here with my vote. Now, so of course, it's going to be similar to Bitcoin. But the count here I prefer the count. I think we can resolve where we are more easily than in Bitcoin. So per the way I have this labeled, we've got the 1, 2, 3 in. So here's our 1, 2. We've got the 3 and we're seeking the 4, right? Before we head up for the 5, right? So we have great potential here for just almost a textbook impulse wave to coming off of this low. Now, the subdivision is a few tricky bits in here, no doubt. Now, a couple of things you'll notice. Okay, so first, so typically you'll see we'll have visible range here is what I'll set this at. So it changes as I add more data to it. You see, or it changes, right? So whatever you can see on the screen. Well, when we have a move like this, I don't want to be influenced by necessarily prior action. I just want to see internally. I want to see the volume profile for that move. Now, I've shown this on Bitcoin as well, where it's a bit more problematic with Bitcoin because of the nature of the way it moved in a couple of pump wicks. Now, here we have this nice base. Well, so you can see it here, but particularly here, we have this nice base of support. Really, if I'm going to include all of it, right, we'd go right here. So from the 50 to the 618, we have this nice little high volume range here where we can anticipate that there will be support for the market. So reasonable, if indeed we're going to come down here and finish this correction, break these lows, come down to anticipating support. Well, so a couple of things. One, I've got that nice little node here, swing low, swing high. That'd be right at the 50. Now, we can pause at the 30 area. So again, it's not inevitable that we're going here, but it certainly looks like this if we got down here and you had the opportunity to buy. Now note here we also have this structure from the subdivision here, what I have labeled as our third, right? So the prior 3, 4, right? Often an area where you can anticipate support. So you just got, I mean, it's like you're really reading right out of the Elliott playbook here. So you've got a great location here as a potential entry zone looking for, well, at the minimum, here's our first algo target. So let's call it 112. Bigger here, and so that would be 133. So and I'll show you why I'm looking up there as well. So with that established here, we know that if it's going to come down here around this 50, there's likely to be some support there. Let me take that off just to declutter the chart up. All right, let me pop this up a little bit so we can see it a little better. So a couple things to note here. So much like I've shown with Bitcoin, Litecoin, others. Well, so off of the low here, we certainly want to pay attention to the market geometry. So if I just put my median lines on here, what do we notice? Well, of course, we've yet to make the median line, right? So you got a couple of different ways you can interpret that. All right, so the 80% potential here that is created by that corner is yet to be realized, right? So this is kind of what I was looking at here. If we are going to come down here and we're going to finish this WXY, come to the 50, boom, that would get us there. So now the alternate, right, would be very bearish because a failure to make the median line per Andrew's trading principle number 4, a failure to make the median line sets up a move equal to or greater than the move that failed to get there. Right? Equal to would put us all the way back at the low. So something very dramatic has changed in crypto, or certainly in the alt space, if we see Monero coming down to challenge these lows, right? So everything's just, the wheels are coming off if we see that. So I'm certainly not anticipating that. So per the way I'm counting this, I'm anticipating we're going to get that median line at some point. So so sometimes, I guess the point I'm trying to make here, sometimes you might forget about it. So you take it off and you're like, okay, I'll deal with that later. Well, don't make note that that's going to be a target up there if we come down here, find support, which is the way I'm going to bet on it, trade on it, however you want to describe it. Right? So right now, I'm salivating for that chance to buy it down here. Right? Give me that chance. right? That's in my book, right? Take it for what it's worth. That's an absolute must buy. Must buy, right? Yeah, I'm sure as hell I'm going to put a stop on it, but I'm not going to let that slip through my fingers, right? So that's one I'm going to watch. So per the subdivision here, now let me clear some of this up, and we'll just do a quick run through on this, because there are a few little bits in here that are challenging for members, right? So good idea. Now before I give it to you, pull up Monero to the dollar on Bitfinex and get your own count on it. Work through it, see what you come up with. There are a few tricky spots. So what I'll typically do, so as you see me do, of course I do the same thing every time, guys, right? As I would tell you, that's the value of this. So first thing I'm going to do is check how far are we from the length of the 1. All right, so I'm going to take the length of the 1, get that right on there. Okay, length of the 1 projected from the 2. Well, we know an extreme for the third is the 2618, right? That's, again, I mean, we are literally out of the Elliott playbook here. Right? So 1, 2, up for the 2618 for the 3, and now we start the correction. God, that's just, I couldn't script it any better than that, right? So now, is the subdivision there? Well, it gets a little tricky in here. So this, I think the 1, 2 here, pretty solid. Now, from that, we're going into the 3 here. So interestingly, there's a couple of spots where we have double tops. So the subdivision here, let me go 2 hour here, necessitates that we trade this. If this is 1, 2, and this is the 3, per the fact that we're trading this as an impulse, I need an impulse in that third. So the 1, 2 looks pretty solid. So let's get this slightly over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, double top, A, B, C down. Now I come up for the 3. Here's the retrace for the 4. Don't threaten the 1, double top. Right, interesting, right? So we get double top, and then up here we get another double top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, A, B, C, down we go for the 4. Interesting how the structure holds it here, right? That's why I always wick these off, right? Market has an unbelievable way of revisiting that structure. So we come down to the 1 low, ding it. Now, right, so of course you'd also always check for the fib. What are now going to do? Now look at that. So you think that's coincidence? I promise you it's not. So we come here. So from that 50, what do we get? Second target. Pardon me. We get third target, right? So we know that's a shorthand for the 1618. So just this move right here, well, here, I'll show it to you. So it's going to be not on to the tick because we're pivoting at the 50. So we come up just shy of the 1618, but look, the secondary target here, that's the negative 100 off of this 1, 2, catches it to the tick. Interesting. So 1, 2 looks like I've got to work that as the 3, 4. I like the structure here, holding it at the 50. First target reaction blows right through, and ultimately we get this third target. So I think the 1, 2, 3, right? So again, we got to allow for the double top, ABC into the 4, 1, 2, 3. Now this gets a little wonky in here, right? So you got to deal with what you got here. So the rip down looks like 5. Now the B is tricky because you got to go 1, 2, 3. Pardon me. You got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into an A, shallow B, and then best you can do with that C there, right? So you got to trade it this way, A, B, C. Let's get that down here, and we'll put it in blue here. So you got to go A, B, C here to get your B, and then 1, 2. It's skinny, guys. I know, right? I see it. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Best you can do. Right, and the reason you're kind of forced into that is because of what follows. So the correction is A, B, C here. So we do not take out the C low, pardon me, the A low with the C, but then from that, I got to go 1, 2, 3, down for the 4, and then double top again for the 5. Interesting, all the double tops. Right, so, it's always a little bit of a point of caution, right? It's a lot of double tops, but I don't see another way to count this that would be consistent with rule set. Now, granted, I know that's That's a shaky 5. But shit, I'm on a 2 hour. If I go down to a 15-minute, it's there, right? So it's the 5 that's weak. The 1, 2, 3 is there. It's the 4, 5 that's a little shaky. But I don't see another way to count this to accommodate for the impulse into the double top that follows. So now also you'd want to check here, right? So you're always checking these pivots. Are they technical? So the length of the 3. Right, so here's golden zone 50. You'd think it would get there, right? But doesn't have the legs, right? We just stall out here. So that would make you think, well, wait a minute, I got to pull back out. What did we run into? Right? So the fact that we're not hitting that target makes me think we ran into something else. So let's just check. So from the last pivot I can see. All right, well, there's the 786. So it's likely not that. It's not software that kicked in from that pivot. Oh, shit. I got to go to the 3 hour. All right, so I'm going to go back a pivot. All right, so from here, I'm going to check here. Still, nope, not still through. Here's the last dominant before I go down. So, all right, there's nothing quite right to the tick here, right? So we get through. So we get through the 6.5 here. So it takes me to this one. Yeah, front run, hard to say. I mean, certainly you have some prior support that was all here that could be what we ran into if I include the majority of that. So for whatever reason, we don't have the legs to get to that algo target. So down we come. Now, so let me clear some of this out. Right, we got to recognize that this resistance is still going to be here. Right, note where the target is here that I've got here. Right between the two of them. So now let's dig into that subdivision here. So with this double top, the proposed 3 high here. All right, so I'm going to take this off, since we know that's up there. ABC looks to me like that's AB. It's just like Bitcoin, right? So ABC, down we go. So from the top to the pivot, what do we do? Golden zone, exactly what we did in Bitcoin. All right, same thing. So what do we have here? Just like I showed you in Bitcoin, we've got potential golden corner pocket. Right? So golden corner there. Now, the caveat always, right, as I try to remind you, right? So you've got the best odds in trading, 80% probability of making the median line. You're going to make it here, you can make it here, make it here. We don't know, right? So you get this leading indicator component here. Might be down here. Second target wouldn't be surprising. That's point of control here on visible range. But let's pull this off. So it would appear that the ABC is solid. Then the 3 here is a little cleaner here than it is in Bitcoin. So I can get the ABC, and that would imply that the ABC into the W. So we complete the first ABC. Then I get an ABC corrective X wave right to the golden zone, and look at the reaction, right? So we don't have to wonder why it returns here. Now, that doesn't mean that we are inevitably going down, at the very least, to this algo target. Doesn't mean that. It just means we ran into selling there, right? And we can understand why. Whether it's, you could look at it and say, oh, I don't believe that algo shit. So okay, fine, right? So what likely structure, right? What I can tell you why that's selling off there, but you don't want to buy into that. Well, use the structure. Okay, well, we just ran into some structure, right? Prior, or you could look at all of this. So all of this up here, right? So this was supply coming into the market. All right, every time we come up here, comes down, comes up here, comes down, comes up here. Right, now it doesn't mean we can't get through, right? Just obviously, right? This is supply coming into the market, right? So sellers take over here. All right, so coming down, if this is our X wave, well, we need an ABC to finish this and potentially set us up for the forward. Again, we don't know where that's going to be because we don't have anything here. We just have the very first little, maybe just the 1, 2, and in the 3 of the 1 of the A wave. Right? So I'm on a 3-hour chart here. So we go down to let's go down to the 30-minute. 1, 2, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be the A wave going in. Look at that, right to the 618 to the tick, right? It's amazing, amazingly consistent, right? It's the most important level on any chart, any time frame. I try to emphasize that so you don't ever ignore them, right? You have to know where that is, right? Relative to the last dominant swing. So this sure looks like we could be on our way, right? So it's 80% probabilities. Now, if we turn around, come out, and we just going to have a little pause here. So again, you could say, well, hey man, so you're telling me there's structure up here. What about that, right? So there's structure right there as well. So if that bounces there and we come up here, well, then you have to reconsider. Maybe there's, shit, would that even be long enough? Let's just check that. You might think, oh, maybe I've got a leading diagonal. Yeah, it's long enough. So you might think, oh, ABC, ABC, ABC. Maybe I've got or maybe this is the ABC of a 1 wave. We're coming down for the 2. We're going up for a 3, and we're going to finish with a diagonal. Or that's the 1 wave, a leading diagonal of the 5th wave. So there's just no way for us to be definitive, but I can just look at this and say right now it's bear's ball. Right? They went up and tested this. Had we gotten through, right, we lose the sell side algo. Right now, we bumped right into the sell side algo, right? And they're selling it with this target in mind. Now, does that change the bull count? Of course not, right? So that potentially, now, I'm not necessarily saying that this is a place to be a buyer, right? So an algo target is never a buy in the opposite direction. It's a place to take profit because you don't know what shit, we could be going second, third target. You don't know. It's not a buy signal, but it's a target right now for this pivot because we know software is behind that. So coming down here, we want to see per the way we're trading this, or let me rephrase that, per the way I have this labeled. Right? If you concur with that, and this is an X wave here, well, then we need an ABC to finish this. Right? If we're going to stick with our Elliott rule set, we need to finish with an ABC. So we could get to the algo target here in the median line and just have completed the A wave, which would be more bearish. But we've got pretty good amount of cushion here. So from the 2 low, let's pop this open again. From the 2 low. If I pull this one more time, right? So up to this high. All right, so we've got pretty good cushion. We come all the way down to the golden zone on this side. So we could go, well, let's do it this way. We could go golden zone to golden zone and then bounce up. Now, of course, the deeper we go with a 4, the lower the probability of getting off to new highs. Doesn't invalidate, just reduces the probability. So thus, we'd much, if you're a bull, you'd much rather see it hold here at the 38. Last stop, if you're, well, it's not that it's not possible again, but you'd prefer to see this range here hold. You'd want this little range here. Right now, this, if we have to adjust the pitch forward because it takes longer, because it's drifting lower like this, well, then we maybe go to a shift or a modified shift where we put a channel on it. You could certainly do something like this, right? So now you're looking at the center line here of that channel over here. So you have lots of room for this to come down and stay with this bullish count, right? We need the ABC to finish this. So if I pull this off, right? So channel, same thing as a modified shift set of median lines. So you've got some room down here. So this area down here is absolutely should be on, well, I would propose to you, right? So certainly members, this should be on your radar, right? This is one to be, patiently, let's get an ABC to get us down here. But that is one, don't miss that one, right? I'm not saying it's a guaranteed winner. I'm just saying that's a beautiful setup. So you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to be patient, right? The best trades typically require patience. Let it set up. Don't jump here because you can't wait. Make sure you've got a solid ABC, right? It just increases the probability of your success. Don't just, so if it comes down here, let's say we get this. We get a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm at the algo target. I'm buying it. Well, you're going to need to reconcile what you've got there. So you might think, oh, well, it's a 335. No, right? Can't have that, right? So you got to have, well, if this were going to be a flat, well, we'd need the B wave here to be much higher, right? Ideally, I just went through that with Bitcoin. Ideally, you'd want it at 90%. So if we're just going to have this golden zone, not going to be a flat. So that would imply the WXY. So we need the ABC in there. So don't FOMO on it. Wait. Now, it's okay. So you say, God damn, man, it came to the 38. It was right there, the algo target. You told me that's not a buy signal, and it goes. Well, shit, man, welcome to the trading, right? right? It's always just probabilities. That's all you get, guys, right? So if you miss this, okay, shit, all right, God damn it, I missed that. It was all set up right there. That guy told me not to take it. I didn't take it. I've been watching Monero. I knew that was going to go. Okay, all right, so you missed it, right? Welcome to trading. So what are you going to do now? So now you're going to just do the same thing, right? Well, assuming you're going to use your Elliott Wave knowledge. So you're gonna wait for that to finish and look where the buy. Let me pull this off. Okay, so now look where the buy is. So if we complete the 5 up here, so all I'm doing now is going swing low to the swing high. So assuming you missed the trade, it goes up to the 5. What are you waiting for? Right, then again, another must buy. But the odds are, right, again, this is not crystal ball forecasting. The odds are, if we go up and get that, there's likely to be some sort of a retrace that would give you an opportunity to buy it. Well, let me go back here. So let me do it this way. So here's the 38. Let's just put a line there. Okay, so here's the 38. You come down here, it stops at the 38, takes off, and you miss it. You're like, God damn that guy, right? He told me not to buy it. Okay, so let's just carry it on. All right, so I'm just, again, I don't have any of this. Don't have it. I'm just using this as a scenario. Right, so where's the 50? If we're gonna play Elliott ball here and we're gonna come down, we're gonna get a nice ABC to give us a 2 wave. Where's the 50? It's exactly where the 38 is now. So don't FOMO into something that's not ripe, that's not there, that you can't go, I see it clearly. Oh, I see the ABC, I got it, I'm comfortable. That does so much more. It reduces the stress level, right? You can't eliminate the stress when money's at risk, right? You can't eliminate it. So what you want to do is reduce it. So if you let this thing come to you and set up and wait patiently for that ABC, knowing full well markets are, we can't say with certainty that we're going to get an ABC here. We can say it's probable given what's happening here. If you let that develop and come to you down here, all right, at this level we've been talking about, you let this thing finish as an ABC, boy, it sure makes you more comfortable pulling the trigger. Right? You waited patiently, you got just what you were looking for. You can set up where the entry is, where the exit is, where you invalidated. If it's too much risk, right? Well, you got to use some structure. There are ways for you to construct that trade. Well, now, but don't misunderstand what I'm saying. If we get a smaller ABC and we come to that, well, buy the hell out of it. What I'm saying is wait for the ABC. Don't just go, oh, okay. So this is what I was trying to show you, right? If you get, I got a 5 wave, must be done, right? Likely, right? What'll follow that is this, right? That ABC is probable to come eventually, right? If this is correctly identified. Now, if this shoots up here, right? Remember we said maybe something else is going on, but right now you got to go with what you see. So as I look at that, that's not an area to be a buyer. I'd wait for better pricing. That's my view. Right? Now, I know I could miss something waiting for those, right? But again, I would rather miss it than force it. Okay, fuel for thought. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Talk to you next week.